Stephen is a passionate young man. When he was a child, he couldn't easily fall asleep at night, as he was busy picking colours to paint his room of imagination. The world was one big adventure for him, and every challenge in life was like a fun game. Coming from a poor family, Stephen couldn't afford the luxury of education and dropped out of college. Nevertheless, the blazing ambition in his chest seemed like it would never be extinguished. Stephen waits tables in the city to make a living and writes stories when he's off work, gradually building a financial foundation until he becomes the best screenwriter in the industry. He also recently married his high school sweetheart, and every day has been the best day of his life. Even though his pocket was loose and his future was indefinite, the endless laughter from his house even annoyed the upstairs neighbour. It was a bustling Friday night at work. Stephen was bussing finished drinks, and he found a box of chocolate by the register behind the bar. Stephen asked the bartender whose chocolate this was, and she told him that one of the customers at the bar gave it to her to share with all the staff. However, she thought the customer had an eerie vibe for some reason, so she didn't take any piece and just left it there. It was Friday night, the restaurant was busy, and Stephen thought he could use some chocolate to cheer himself up a little. So he took a piece of chocolate from the box and ate it, thinking, what is the worst thing that could happen? The next morning, Stephen died. David is a spiritless man. He's been in the real estate business for 30 years and makes just enough money to send his kids to college. He has 2 kids. The younger one moved out to a dorm last year, and the older one is getting married this year. David never had a passion for the real estate business, but he kept it going silently for his kids because he loved them. Unfortunately, he never loved his wife, nor did she love him. They went to the same high school, and when they saw each other again at a high school reunion party, David thought it was about time to get married, and so did his wife. They did not find each other attractive, but they both thought they were good enough for each other. The marriage without love was not bad. David did his part diligently, and so did his wife. They barely fought and rarely talked, and it was just all right. Yeah, everything seemed all right. It was Valentine's Day, and David was at the bar sipping on some scotch. He was quietly contemplating what was left with him today. A job that his heart didn't resonate with, 2 kids sailing away on their journey, and a wife who awkwardly laughed at his awkward jokes. After 30 years of work and 27 years of marriage, he felt like he was left with all the things that he did not live for, and the only thing he would die for was getting away from his life. After quite some time, he put down his 4th glass on the tabletop with a glimpse of determination, and he asked for the cheque. As he handed over the cheque to the bartender, he took out a box of chocolate from his briefcase, gave it to the bartender and said, "This is chocolate that my wife made me for Valentine's Day today, but I feel like it doesn't belong to me anymore. Why don't you share it with the staff? It doesn't need to go to waste." The bartender took the box and put it by the register behind the bar.